Tina, is there any way you can get in touch with Tug? And if he has any way of communicating with David R., only me?
And unfortunately, every time I make a call, it becomes content for them.
Welcome to the show. You look incredible, like a dessert that owns a yacht.
That's exactly the vibe I was going for. You know, sweet, but slightly out of your tax bracket.
Mission accomplished.
Gold on my neck, gold on my hand, purple with the stripes, that's the walk of a man. Sidewalk shining, city lights humming, every step I take, they know a boss.
Blazing the whip, gotta vanquish the needs. My kingdom for some poppy seeds, yo.
Police or zombie problems? Your tortoise won't stop breakdancing?
Try blue tape.
The miracle of our age. Yay!
I'm calling from Los Angeles, and I'm having a little problem under the name ThATuMBRELLAgUy. I sent him my phone number at least 20 times in the chat and told him to call me. He ignored me. I'm a man. I filed the report. If you guys could take a look at it and give me a call back, I would love to hear what you guys can do to help us. We really need to kind of stop this guy at least until Monday. I told him to call me. I'm a man.
You talk big, but your wallet's thin. Claim you're winning while I cash it in. Your schemes are weak, your pitch is lame. I'm stacking gold, you're playing games. I'm getting paid while you're just scammers. Swinging fake dreams like broken hammers. Flashing your lies like neon glamours. But I see through your cheapo banners. You sell the moon, but can't pay rent. Your big ideas just came and went. I'm counting checks while you pretend. Your pyramids crumble and my climb will end. I'm getting paid while you're just scammers. Swinging fake dreams like broken hammers. Flashing your lies like neon glamours. But I see through your cheapo banners. You hustle air, I breathe success. Your phony tricks are such a mess. I'll toast to wins, you fake distress. Your con's exposed, no second guess. Your empire's built on plastic pride, but truth's a wave you can't outride. I'm stacking real while you divide. The house of cards where you reside. You'll beg for mercy from coast to coast, saying where's that villain we hate the most. I'm masked up and on the attack. Verbal walk-bys filled with facts. Yeah, I'm getting paid while you're just scammers. Swinging fake dreams like broken hammers. Maybe you intimidate your friends again, but when I play to win. And here we are, right at the end, with your game of cheap pretend. Nothing about your world is real. A plastic person that suits to feel.
It must be lonely to sit on a throne made of silence, built not with trust but with lawsuits and threats. Fall like nails to boards, shut the mouths that know you best. How sad is it To turn your name into a weapon, to aim at your own kin, your own crew, your own clients, just to keep the truth from catching daylight. But see, truth don't bruise, it burns, and maybe that's why you run from it. Why you hide behind courts, behind contracts and clauses, as if a signature can undo a sin. Because truth is kryptonite, and you ain't made of much steel to begin with.
Yeah, I'm getting paid while you're just scammers, swinging fake dreams like broken hammers. Getting messed up for what I love the most, wrecking lawyers on these streams I host.
Short time.
What's up, folks? I haven't listened to that in a minute. I thought it really pertained to what all is going on as of late. Oh man, this has been it's been a really, really interesting last few days, I'm gonna say. I was trying to think of where to start. You know, last night got so crazy that you had 2L, or co-host, and Robbie yelling profanities and threats at a woman because she talked about all the stuff that she'd seen with them. You know, she made some very interesting allegations. They didn't like it, so they just made overt threats. Let me quote you a few wonderful lines from that. And I put up, by the way, if you want to see about a 10-second clip of that, I put up a clip of it over on Facebook under TAD, TAD, Guy, GUY. You can find me. It looks just like me. It's a spitting image of me. but listen to some of these wonderful, wonderful lines. He said, this is them discussing. Now, Robbie, this is Robbie, and then you have their co-host pop in too on this. But Robbie's yelling, "You're an idiot, Kimmy. That's all I've got to say. Bring it, bring it. Step B." He's using the B-I-H, you know. Step. "You feel froggy, jump." And then the other one kicks in, is like, "Yeah, come on down to Florida anytime, Kimmy." Yeah, that's straight up threats. They are like, "You're going to talk about us, we are going to threaten you." They talked about ruining her channel, ruining her life. I was like, wow, this is unreal. These are the people that are playing victim and reporting that the words of other people are cyber harassment and threats to police. Meanwhile, these people, they're not only complain, that are connected with the police. They are absolutely making threats. Now, I figure maybe, I'm not sure exactly what day I want to do it. Tomorrow, Coop and D Spills the Tea are coming on, and I'm not sure if I want to go over what that lady said, like her live stream that day, or Sunday. I'm not sure. It'll be one of these days though. But we've got so much stuff. We have Preston with her lives and her words. You know, the letters. You know, we talked about one of the letters, by the way, with give me a second. But we have not talked about all of the letters that Michelle Preston was writing with Levy County. Now, Shara, you know, we talked about the one about 2L. Check these out, too. This is pretty interesting stuff. You had, give me 1 minute. These are, even though the date is older, it's interesting. And we haven't seen all this wonderful stuff. You know, what we're finding out is there were many conversations and meetings that were going on that seem, I don't know, just kind of strange. Like for example, you have them, you know, we're going to talk about this right here. And this was put up by Melissa. Melissa, thank you. It took me a minute. I was like, hey, who put it? Yeah, Melissa, of course. But it's interesting to have, Brett, as Hales calls them, butt chump, talking about their little meetings they have over and over again. You know, so here's one of those wonderful letters. Check this one out. "Good morning. I need to set up a time to come and speak with you. We have a status conference this morning for the new charges in Ohio, which on paper were very vague. But I have since heard from someone on his team that the allegations are being made by Shara Wolf, the reporter that we had on our side at one point, who was friends with Jamie Starr Johnson. You can look, no punctuation, who brought the stolen camper onto my property, did drugs. I had to throw her off, and again, this makes it sound like she's talking about Shara. By the way, when you read that, does that not sound like she isn't talking about her allegations about Jamie Starr Johnson? It sounds like she's making allegations about this person who said all of that stuff. Shara is doing this, but it's wild just to hear that we have police entertaining this stuff and having meetings that obviously we can't FOIA. We can't find out what went on in those meetings and what was said. I'm gonna have a reader in a second. Hey girl, what you doing?
The phone is at 3%.
I'll plug it up for you. All right. Love you, kiddo. What you doing? What you up to?
Been playing games on YouTube.
Yeah. Oh, you got the interactive game? Yeah.
Yeah, there's like different things, like different how to play games.
Yeah.
There's one with a circle icon and one with a bat icon.
Okay.
One has a bat icon.
Well, I'm plugging it up.
A bat icon, and it has a bunch of games. And one of them is like an anomaly hospital game.
Yeah. Okay.
It's like a fake anomaly hospital.
Really? That sounds fun and crazy. That sounds fun and crazy.
I tried to
Did you have a good time with it?
like about multiple times today.
Well, later. All right. Well,
I tried to call her 6 times.
Well, maybe she's busy today. Okay. Anyway, she works at night, so she's probably sleeping. All right, but hey, go have fun.
You mean day?
No, she works at night, not in the day, so she's probably asleep. But hey, what did you just take? What do you got in your hand? Show me that. Come back.
Okay.
I want to see what she's doing. I want to see what it is. What is that? Show me.
This.
I can't see that. What is it? Is it
This.
It's a little, that's a beard brush. You know that. That's what that is.
I'm
right?
just doing this with it.
Okay. Well, don't get anything in it. All right. You can have it. Take it.
Okay.
No.
We'll give it back if you want.
Well, all right. Thank you. Love you. Oh, Lord. She came down. I saw her take something off one of the shelves over here. I was like, what did you just take? I thought she'd taken something in her. No, she took off with a tiny beard brush. Why would you even want that? Okay. Anyway. All right. So let me fire my computer back up. Oh, that's so funny. Hot hands. Yep, exactly. She's like, well, Dad has the cool stuff. So, all right. So back to this. Give me a second. I'm waking my screen back up. I timed it out. And she came up. She still hasn't gotten to the point where she can read everything, but she's getting much better with her reading. So I have to be more careful about it. She's getting to where she knows, whereas she's putting it together faster. We've been working on her reading a lot. So check this out. Here we go. So anyway, she said, and again, look at all these allegations. And all this is in writing, by the way. Just to note, this is yet another person that is supposedly an addict that was on her property that she had to throw off. So there's another. There was that. Remember the stuff she claimed recently about her daughter, where her daughter had her little one pee in a bowl. That, you notice all these people that she attracts, right? According to her, and again, that's her words. I'm not saying that any of these people really are that. But she's like, well, Shara then became a Hale's fan directly after that. Now she's saying that at some point in our speaking with each other, I told her I was going to hire a hitman. So she approached the police and told them that there were allegations that she had tried to hire a hitman, and the police didn't even look into it. Don't you find that messed up? It's crazy as hell to find out. The police were told, again, there were allegations that Michelle Preston stated that she was going to try to hire a hitman. And these police officers, they didn't care. Now, again, I'm not surprised by it. I'm sure you're not surprised by it either. But it's just insane to be confronted by this stuff all the time, isn't it? It's just so unreal. So the same story that he tried already once with you and the sheriff's department is he's trying now. Wait. She said this. No. Actually, John Cook said that he wanted to pew Hales and feed him to crocodiles and all kinds of other craziness. And that story, isn't it interesting? They're talking about defeating Shara, stating that she had a conversation with Lynette Preston. Look, this is them, in my opinion, looking at it, this is them conspiring together to try to defeat Shara testimony about something that, again, she says that she witnessed firsthand. And they have a meeting off the books because of what's written here. I mean, this is wild when you think about it all, you know. So the same story, they tried with you and the sheriff's department. He's trying now with the judge. I've never have said that. I don't know if you guys can investigate it by me. So look, she's admitting people are saying that she said something about a hitman, and she wants Shara investigated. So they can't bring it up in a courtroom. Now, the fun thing is that there were allegations by Tina. Hey, Tina, by the way, if you're out there. We're talking about not Tina, Otter Creek Tina. We are talking about not Tina Bryan Tina, but rather Tina, the Tina that, heard some really crazy things. One of the crazy things was that Michelle Preston, she liked to brag about how this guy right here was essentially her pal. Essentially would do whatever they wanted. Now, obviously, I don't believe he would do everything they wanted, or they would have had Jeremy Hales in jail. But I do find it disturbing that she felt connected enough through writing and more that she was talking about them all being pals. And they were all talking together to get Jeremy Hales. She also mentioned a couple of detectives that she had a close relationship to. What's that name again? Williamson? Is that correct? Williamson is the detective? Now, again, you take that how you will, but it is very strange. Can you guys investigate by me asking you to, or what I need to do? The hearing that we are going to have is December 5th at 9 a.m. Hopefully my witnesses can all be there by Zoom, by the judges deciding whether we should be there in person or not. Hopefully she will do it by Zoom, knowing we have a medically needy child and we are just disabled and indigent. Bruce. Those are your words, by the way. Those are your words. John told me to ask if there's any way we can have the other deputy as a witness as well. John told me to ask. So they plotted with John Cook, a guy who went to jail for, and they would not prosecute, who pulled a pew on a car with people, including a small child in it. So they're sitting around conspiring with John Cook too. Again, I think one of the best questions is why. Again, is he a narc for real? I've wondered that ever since that idea came up. You know, he had talked about how everybody that used to take out of the blessing box, they were all in jail. And they talked about all these addicts and stuff, if they come around them and then they go to jail. So I know, again, I'm not saying that's true, but I'm saying it's something else, isn't it? But John wanted to know if the other deputy as well, the one who wrote the report saying he believes Hales was setting us up. He did the full report about the mileage to the drive and everything. I'd like to have him as a witness. I want to get this protective order over. So they're plotting with her about overturning a protective order. I wonder, did Randy, they've got They have a case right now with Dan Owen. And the police department here is having meetings with a woman talking about how they want to defeat a protective order. They will not enforce the protective order, but they will have off-the-book meetings where you can't tell what they talked about, where they do indeed end up testifying on her behalf. That's very strange, isn't it? Makes you feel really safe, doesn't it? Like very secure in the fact that if you get a protective order there, you'll be protected, right? We've done nothing to this man except, having a protective order against you there. He's also saying that we've been filming him coming in and out of his driveway. My cameras can't see his driveway. So again, I don't know if I can have that investigated and have some kind of report about it. This is why John and I would like to sit down with you. And I also want to talk to you about Lisa Lee. Lisa Lee, because Lisa is lying. Now, what is the date on this one, by the way? This is in November of 2025. Okay, this is after. So there's 2 letters that have happened about Lisa Lee. See, Lisa has lied and said, and so is Michelle Preston, lied and said, she didn't go to the police about Lisa Lee. Oh, shit. Yes, she did. She tried to get her put in prison. She absolutely did. She absolutely did. I kept telling people that that's exactly what she was doing. Like, none of these people want to hear that. They lie about it. This is a FOIA document. Now, the 2 blocks here, again, Melissa posted these up like with that. She posted them up like this. But this is what Shara FOIA'd from Levy County. So these are official documents. And I just went, and instead of having to screenshot them, I screenshot them once, but I didn't like the blur that was on them. So that's why I took these. And thank you, Melissa, again. I appreciate it. I like that some people, but they're in the video that Shara just put up. We need to go over it too. Man, there's so much stuff. There's so much. But she said, look, she's lied to you. She's lied to everyone. She stole upwards of $56,000 that was dedicated, given, donated, all of us. She embezzled it. And her husband, they have it. Looks like a history of doing this to elderly people. Wow. Levy County wouldn't investigate that either. Holy shit. You have the woman. Okay, let's think about this. You have the major donor saying, hey, this woman's taking my money. You have other donors that are like, hey, this woman is taking our money. You have the person that is supposed to be receiving the money saying this woman has stolen this money. And these people will do fuck all about it. And we aren't talking about a pittance. We are talking about large money. And I think it's funny too. Oh, Lisa Lee. Yeah. When we had Preston do an interview, she was like, I don't know why they sent me the Gabe documents, because she wanted them to take to the police. That's why. Dun, dun, dun. So, yeah, she's so half-assed that when she wrote about it, she probably took them to the police. I sent her 52 fucking documents attached to Gabe. Oh, yeah. Whoops. Did I say that out loud? Yes, I did. I gave her a Dropbox full of material that was about Gabe. Tina, she can attest to this. There's an entire Dropbox full of stuff with Gabe. It also had stuff in there related to Richard Luthman, because those 2 people are felons, and that's who you should be connected to this money, which that's what she's trying to do. And it's interesting because they're telling you nobody will hold them accountable. But also there was the letter from Only Me in it. There were all the screenshots where Only Me talked about amounts. There was the screenshot where Lisa actually brought up her PayPal receipts where she did indeed get that stuff. They just refused to investigate. Isn't that weird? Oh, the Attorney General doesn't care, Sharon. They don't care. They won't investigate it. They don't care. That's the beautiful thing. Now, I believe the reason they haven't cared is because, look, the people who have been scammed have to go to that. And what they need to do, they need to stop saying that Lisa Lee did this, and they need to bring up the whole group. They need to say this person who is a felon, this person who is a felon. And if they don't cover it, then you blow it wide open by going to mainstream media and you make them cover this story. You make enough noise that they will cover it. Because once they ignore it, if you note the amounts, which are they're pretty big. Once you note the amounts, number one, then you note that the police in multiple jurisdictions refuse to look at it at all or to do anything. And these people are bragging about how places like Sumter County will not investigate them. Oh, I bet the media might get really interested about that. I think that's the way you do it, you know. Yeah, what they all need to do is, yes, Sweet Pea Granny stated too, what those people need to being scammed need to do. Yeah, if you feel you've been scammed with something, you can contact the police where in areas like your area, they'll probably tell you to contact Florida with Sumter County and more. If these people refuse to do anything, you ask them exactly who you're supposed to get in contact with. They'll probably tell you it's civil, but you bring up the people that are felons that have been attached to these folks too. You don't leave that out. You'd be like, look, you know, the people who've taken up money, one of them's in jail right now. He has a record of, well, give me 1 second. I'll actually pull up the record itself so I do not misquote the record, because when they are talking about not investigating, the man who is now in jail has been in jail because of the amounts of money for grand theft and instances, not just one instance, by the way, multiple instances, contract fraud that dealt with elderly people. So you got fraudsters that are connected with elderly again, and they lie online and they say that these are civil claims. You don't, again, I don't know how to make this any clearer. You don't get probation on civil claims. Okay. That's not how it works. Like that would be like saying Jeremy Hales took Lynette Preston to court for defamation and she got probation for that. That's bizarre. That's a bizarre thing to say, right? It sounds crazy, right? But that's essentially what they've been saying. So yeah, you bring those folks up. So anyway, let me go back to that letter. Here we go. She said they have a history of doing this to elderly people by taking their money, never filling jobs that they say that they're going to do for them. Lisa was supposed to frame our house and do it before March 20th. She couldn't fulfill that timeline. Our permit expired. We're just wanting to, we're just talk when we see you. We'll just is what, but can we please set up a meeting? And he's like, yep. He gives them the date, November the 7th. So when they, what was really funny about this is the way that they made this look publicly, by the way, is they made it look like they had to subpoena them to get them involved with anything. Because what they had to do to get them into Ohio court itself is to subpoena, but they made it look like these cops just got subpoenaed out of the blue. Oh, no. They were having meetings with Michelle Preston. It's very strange, isn't it? Very, very, very strange stuff. But I like two prongs in this. Number one, I like the exposure. Shara, man, by the way, props on getting this stuff. Shara's a very good person at digging up items. Like she's a hound when it comes to that. She can smell it there. She's like, I smell FOIA. I love it. I love FOIA and stuff. But, you know, there was this, and then there was the other one, you know, and the other one was actually before that. Well, let's put it on this one too. Let's just bring it up. So the other one, again, this is all the stuff related to her speaking to myself, by the way. Where do you think she got all these wonderful things she's mentioning about these folks? You know, where do you think it came from? It came from Daddy Tug. If she would have been, again, we told her that she needed to go to the feds about it. Because, of course, she already knew that Levy County, they had, weirdly enough, see, they got this weird hard-on for Jeremy Hales. They want to burn Jeremy Hales down, but they don't seem to be interested in investigating the people who bragged about having meetings with them. That would include Lisa Lee, too. She bragged publicly about how she had multiple meetings and she had smart enough to keep them off the FOIA, you know. So, but here's that one too. This was before, well, actually, this was I think this was right before the other one, right? What was the date on? Let me make sure. No, take that back. It's all one chain. So it's all in the same date frame. So what she's doing, though, is she's taking the information that we got finally and doing so. Man, she is so slow about stuff. And she didn't do anything like we told her that she would need to do it. Yes, she approached Sumter County. Or not Sumter, but she approached Levy County. And from what I understand, Lisa, she also approached Gabe's probation officer. Which, again, is interesting because, again, they bragged about how somebody had called to the probation officer and complained. And they said that the probation officer and themselves just had a big old laugh about it. A big old laugh. Isn't that? So you're in trouble for contract fraud. People contacting her like, hey, this dude, he's potentially defrauding people again, and he's definitely using drugs and shit again. And they're like, let me tell that person how funny this is. After they've been busted too for the old cocaine not too long before, you know, a few months before that too. And then they get busted now and they're in jail now yet again. But yeah, here's what she had to say about Lisa Lee before that, too. Good morning. I've heard something about Lisa and her husband that kind of goes with what they did to me by keeping donations and saying it's because we didn't have a permit, which is like when we met her in September. She started taking donations, and at Christmas time, donations came in like crazy for the barn dominium, our house, our permits. And that's absolutely true. Well, it's for the barn dominium period. It didn't, there is nothing that says that it was just for framing. Oh, it's all for framing it. No. You said that it was for the barn though. That would include permits. But they already had permits. Again, this is when I am of the distinctive opinion that she is consigned to losing her property. By the way, if you listen to, when we're going to listen to some of what she said today in her live streams, but in it, she talks about not needing the permits at this time. I believe that's because like I had this crazy theory about this, right? Now, again, you take this how you want. Like, I don't know any of this is true, but I have this crazy theory. I think that they have not paid their lawyer in quite some time. I think that he is forced to still be on this case, but I don't think he wanted more money a while back. I know that because Preston was talking about it. He wants more money. Well, I don't think they paid him more money, and I think he's well past that. See, if they end up owing him money, they'll just try to write it off as like creditors, right? That'd be the way that they try to handle that, I'm sure. So one of the things that makes you really want is to settle and not to fight all the way through. It makes you more reluctant. That makes you want out. And I'm sure that along the way too, that you have lawyers that are attached to this. They certainly would want to settle as well. I mean, that would make sense, right? So I think she's consigned to the idea that she is going to lose her property, that is going to be the cost of. Now, again, Jeremy Hales would have to agree with the property stuff. That is a large issue for her, but I think that's where we are. And again, what am I basing that on? I'm just basing that on some observation of the way that she acts and the way that so many of these things have been going down. Like I said, she was definitely talking about how Saran Wrap wanted more money for the bankruptcy. She was talking about that quite a bit. And then suddenly, well, thanks for the 10 there. Let's see. The reason Levy County Sheriff's have it in for Jeremy Hales is Russell Meigs, his family, and the county board, who is also connected to Butt Chump, in turn, leaned on the DA to repay a favor. Yeah, I would not be surprised by that at all, just to be honest. I mean, the Old Boys Network, I've lived all over, like small town South, and I can tell you some of the stuff you run into is absolutely unreal as far as the family connections and the stuff that these people pull. So that would not surprise me in the freaking least at all. So anyway, let's read the rest of this. So about the framer, we begged her, please get your framer out. You keep saying you're going to frame our house, frame it. Then we gave our permits to one man she sent. He brought them back, said he wasn't going to do it again. We waited. I spoke to Levy County. She said she spoke to Levy County. She lied. She never did. All of this is evidence. All of it is proof. Supposedly, her husband, Gabe, is on parole for doing the same thing to many people during hurricanes. His name is Gabriel Weeks. I have a document that was sent to me. I wonder where that document came from, baby. Right there. Look, Lisa, you lying piece of shit. There was no conversation with that old Tug. There was nothing. Remember, they went with, it's AI, to, it was just with Tina. Now it's to the, let's see, the last iteration was Lynette Preston saying, yeah, it was with Tina. And there's a guy in the background who I don't know who it is. I mean, again, she's doing her best to get a hold of me. As you hear in the beginning, that thing I've been playing at the beginning of the, let's see, in my intros, by the way, that piece of media, that is not, that is like a message. You know how on Facebook you can leave voice messages? That's what she does. She uses voice messages most of the time. That's why her stuff looks so crazy. But in there, she's begging Tina to get a hold of me. And this is yet another one. Here, just listen to the very beginning of it. I love adding this here.
Tina, is there any way you can get in touch with Tug? And if he has any
way you can get in touch with Tug. Now, again, she wants me to get in touch potentially with, she wanted contact with only me. And no, no thanks. Not doing that stuff for you. The guy already gave money. Go pursue your money. You want money from that guy? Go get it. Go get the money you're owed, right? But it still proves, again, she was using the document. I have a document that was sent to me, and I'll forward it to you. But you remember in that interview that she did with 2L, she was like, I have no idea why they sent me stuff. I have no idea. It's like, yeah, you do. In fact, you tried to utilize that stuff. And I believe that Lisa well knew what you were doing. I believe that she talked about sending that stuff over to the feds. And that's when she suddenly ended up getting a lawyer for Ohio, because they came off a pittance of money. And I have no idea what the what they think they'll get, but it's all interesting, isn't it? I still think that, I think with Lisa and them watching what's happening with Lynette right now, and they've done this to her, that has got to terrify them too. Because how did that happen? Jeremy Hales did it. He financially broke them because they tried to fuck up his life. And he said he's going to come for them too. I tell you, Lynette Preston, I would say this. If there was a way that I could 100% guarantee a lawyer would go after 2L for donation money, I would be more. Oh, she was talking shit to the donors too. Donors out there, she talked shit about you. She said that if you guys wanted to fundraise for a lawyer, be her guest. Be her guest. It will never matter because those are gifts to her. Again, I'm paraphrasing, but if you want to try to get a lawyer, be her guest. You'll never get anything done. Isn't that interesting? Talking shit to the people who gave you all that money. Huh. I read it in the FOIAs. I was just like, whoa. But I've dug it up quick, but it sounds to me like they've done this to many people, but in different forms. And I would like you to let your deputies that's helping us know that I'll have that statement ready in the next couple of days. I didn't know exactly what she wanted, but now I do, and I'm writing it out. Now, what's funny is these people have been in overdrive over in 2L camp trying to keep people from talking about all of this. In fact, my favorite spin right now, let me see. I think I emailed this to me. Let me check real quick. If I didn't, I'll have to pull it over from my phone. Ooh, there you are. Give me a second. I'll go grab some real quick. My favorite spins have been some of those related to folks like Marla. There was a poll that was put up asking whether or not the arrest of Gabe, it actually mattered, right? Yes, no, or don't care. Marla, this is, I love the spin. Here, check this stuff out. This is funny. So Marla said, I voted no because there are a lot of people on both sides offering their opinions that likely wouldn't be comfortable having their lives being examined too closely. Oh, okay. So the guy who is attached to all the fundraisers where all the money goes to, well, he's just offering opinions, right? These people will spin anything. Watch how it becomes about Jeremy Hales. Watch how it suddenly him being arrested. We should not, again, we should not be looking at it because blah, 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 Jeremy Hales. Or their lives of their family members. For example, my neighbors, 2 elderly ladies, one next door and the other across the road, have been doxxed by Jeremy Hales. What the fuck, crazy lady? Their only connection is being my friends and neighbors. They're like, well, we shouldn't look into Gabriel Weeks and his blow habit and the connection to the money because my neighbors and Jeremy Hales. What? Well, you talk about some lame brain bullshit. Oh my God. Yeah, I've got these ladies out there. You know, Marla's Marla will cover for anything people do. Meanwhile, she's like, Jeremy's got BIs spying on me. And it's like, you're not that important, Marla. I love some of these people. They're so fucking dumb. This is what they get from a yes-no question. Yeah. Neither even knew who Jeremy Hales was until I told them in explaining why we had vehicles parked near us for a time. I have photos of the vehicles, but haven't dug into who the occupants were because the stock. So There were cars parked on the road that we live in, and I took pictures of them. They're Jeremy Hills, even though I haven't looked into who they were. Somebody's family comes out to visit them. She's snapping pictures through the shades. It's like, Jeremy's coming to get me. So today, maybe, oh my Lord, maybe we need to fundraise today for Marla some thicker drapes or something. I swear, what's going on here? Oh my Lord. What a nut. These people are crazy, man. I mean, they really are. Jeremy Hills is stuck in my neighbors. Well, what? Do you have any proof? Well, I would get proof, but it's too much work. Oh Lord. Okay, let's continue. I had to have a break for a second. I was like, oh my God. But I still have those photos. Now, again, this is an answer to, should people be discussing his arrest? It's a yes, no. Is he a main player? It's a yes, no, who is that? Whatever, right? And she was, this is her answer. John Cook, too. Now, the person that asked that is a frequenter, or was a frequenter. I haven't kept up with if they still are a frequenter, but was a frequenter of Johnny John Cook's. So check this out. Here's Johnny John. But they were a frequenter of 2Ls and a backer of Johnny John and all them. John Cook is like, this poll only favors the yes vote. You know what that is? You know what the code is for that? The code in that is, if you keep saying things that entertain the thought that maybe those people over there, they have any right whatsoever to do something like, look into people who have ghosted money. You would think John Cook is a really interesting piece of this puzzle, because you would think that John Cook would be interested in what happened with all that money, right? And yet he's more interested in trying to keep the troops in line. Isn't that weird? But he's like, it divides the other two. So because there was a yes, no, and somebody had, they add in, you can add in stuff like, who cares? And I think two people had marked like the who cares. So he's like, oh my God, that's unfair that they could put in a who or who cares. So they're talking about, I mean, this is very clearly them indicating, hey, you better know your place. I love it when they do that too. Again, I was talking about this the other day, but they just had a person whom they have decided they continue to attack. They will either attack directly or they will indicate they will attack people. And there was somebody that has backed them for quite some time, that had ordered a bunch of crap. And they were complaining because they hadn't gotten stuff. They said some people had been getting things, right? But they hadn't gotten anything. And they had been waiting since December. And in December, they were told that their package would be $95. Now, they're being told that they need to pop in $140. $140 more, huh? That's unreal. It's also illegal if these people want to report that to any consumer banks. Again, you put in enough complaints that you make it where, again, if they will not, if you have the governing boards that decide all this stuff, they will not look at it. They won't really protect consumers. Then you start taking it to the mainstream media. But you build up proof that for some reason, police or anything, they won't look into any of that. Give me 1 minute. I liked the answers that they were throwing around for that too. I mean, when they were talking shit about it, I think it's sad, but also I think it's interesting because these people have made it clear that they've done this to other folks. And it doesn't matter until it happens to the people that when they target you in the chat, then you realize who they are. And again, I'm not trying to say, I told you so, or anything like that. That's not what I mean. What I mean in that is, think about all the other people it happened to, and you sit by just silent about it. When they turned on their own co-hosts and their mods, people that were supposed to be your friends, and you're just quiet about it. And they turned on other donors. Maybe you didn't like a donor. Maybe you did. But just quiet about it. And other buyers and people who gave things like the Afghans and more. After this giant stack up of all these people, you would think that would be a clear enough sign. But it only becomes clear sometimes when it happens to people. And again, that's not a fuck you or I told you so. It's just saying the signs were always there. It just hadn't happened to you yet. But now, since it's happened to you, go back and look at all of that. And look at what you set by, and you didn't just sit on silent, but you at minimum tacitly endorsed it. But many of these people, they vocally endorsed going after folks and attacking them until they were the ones denied their stuff. So let's look at these. Let me see which one of these videos was the first one. Let's go with they were talking about. So let's go with this one first because it brings up something I think would be fun to talk about. So these are Lynette Preston's own words. Now this is, it will voice it. Lynette, this is not you. This is AI, by the way. So, but it does put your words out there. You know, again, Lynette Preston, you keep saying that nobody will cover your words. But one thing, too, that's funny, they've decided to make it where we can no longer in chat ask her questions. Because, and I got this, and I'm going to play it. I'm not going to play it tonight, but I'm going to play it another night. I want to show you this real quick, though, too. I actually got this as well. And I think you'll enjoy this when it comes up. So that second live stream she did, right? I'm going to have to blow these up where you can see them really well. Okay. So I'm not ready for it. I wanted to see how they would appear on the screen. I mean, they're not bad, but what you see here, this is her live stream. I found out that her 26-minute live stream, it was going on. I was 4 minutes about, like it started, and I popped over there. And when I did, you can see it's like it's opened up, and she's saying things like, I never said things about John. And you can say, like, there's me in the chat. And I'm like, I'll post it to Preston today. I'll post evidence that you did say it. You know, you can go through and you can see all the people in the chat that are calling the bullshit out, because she absolutely has said these things. And I'm telling her, I was like, you said the kid said stuff about John in your messages. You said it, you know? So she's sitting on there and she's lying, saying, I've never said anything. I've never done this. And there's armies of people. And what's funny is John's in there, and John is like, oh, you use kids for monetization. I mean, he's talking shit to him. But here, you can see, like, again, this has the recording too, but I want to show it over on probably Rumble, just because this is her actual stream. But you can see on there too. I was like, so you didn't say that John is emotionally and verbally abusive? You didn't say those things? And she starts replying to that stuff, and I'm like, you said it, because she was talking about that message that she put out in 2023, which now she's saying wasn't about John, it was about her daughter, but it says it's about John. It says it on it. And I told her, I was like, you said it was about John in your interview with Lisa, and you have other people like Megan's in there too, but and I told her I'll post it right after this. I mean, we're not idiots. We're absolutely not. We're not idiots at all. You know, and John's in here. He's like, Tug uses children to make money. I'm like, dude, you know, I answered him that. He kept saying it until I answered him. Let's see. I told him, I was like, John, she said you put your in a kid's face. You stayed quiet, baby. So, hey, you know, but he was like, you use kids to make money. And I was like, she said that you put your, they fall out of your shorts and you put them in a kid's face. And you said nothing. You let that sit around for fucking years, baby. So I don't think you have anything to say. Oh, like you have a word. Also, what's really funny about all of this is John, you know, John's always like, I'm going to sue everybody. Well, good luck, you creepy bastard, because you have a lot to say about other people, you know? You talk about sticking pictures of kids on the dark web and families and, you know, all kinds of creepy shit. But we got this whole thing with chat, and the chat's pretty interesting. And she always claims that, and the reason I'm showing that is because she always claims that we never listen to her side of things, which is absolutely absurd because we always go over her side of things. Always. You know, I don't think that we've ever not covered what she puts out there. And she has an open invitation to come on the channel. Now, again, it won't be like an interview, though, with Lisa, and it certainly won't be like with Volman, you know, because I'm going to ask questions. And if she wants to give out, I'm not going to cut her off with answers, but I'm definitely going to ask her some questions. I told her also she can make a few $100 dues if she wants to come on, and she has to stay an hour and a half. She has to actually interview and answer. I will not pay her ahead of time, but I will note this publicly. If she wants to make some money, come on, baby, let's do it. You know? But of course she doesn't, because she would actually be confronted by her own emails and everything else. But anyway, here is a record of what she had to say on that very stream. Let's go over it and we'll talk about some of this, you know? Wait, actually, you know what? I want to do the other one. I want to do the one that talks about money and handwriting expert, because they talked about the handwriting expert yesterday. That was wild, or not yesterday, but the day before. That was wild too. Again, all these people out here are told, look, we paid, again, according to Lynette, they paid $14,000 for a handwriting expert. $14,000. This guy, he is so bad that courts have just demolished him. There is a case out there that I'm paraphrasing, you know, with it, but he was hired to look at a will because there was a will in dispute. And he comes back and he says a will basically pops up after the fact, and, you know, there's an argument over whether it's legit or not. Well, he comes in and he gives his quote unquote expert opinion. Well, it turns out that with his expert opinion, he never actually looked at the person's signature that he was discussing. He didn't have it. He never got a hold of it. So he ends up just getting destroyed with it. But there's also, I posted 8 pages of a decision that dealt with him. And he was so bad in those. He claimed that he had been involved in thousands of cases, which was a lie. In the court, they call him out for it. He claimed that he had all these other fields that he'd been involved in, including like, I think psychotherapy was one of them. And he had never had involvement. He talks about his method, his quote unquote method. Yeah, the court said, you don't have a method. You don't have one at all. So, I mean, they go in and they tear him apart. And I posted all of that, but he has been discredited in case after case after case. So they brought that up, and nobody's asked one simple question in that. if it was so amazing, why didn't they put that in when there was a call for any expert witness, anything like that? Why didn't they put it into Fedwood? Because they knew that that guy would get destroyed. But they have used that document to try to state, well, Jeremy Hales wrote signs. Dude, this guy, what you learn from cases with him is he will write anything you want to hear. He likes those dollary dues. That's what a lot of experts are like that, but most of them aren't that transparent. But anyway, let's kick this. Let's go over this. This is Lynette Preston's own words.
From the Lucas County Sheriff about the lies that Ashley told. The rest of the paperwork is I've already requested it. I'm just waiting to get it. First thing I want to cover is, yes, I had to recompose myself. I'm not good at this. This has been very traumatic for me. You all believe a man that is lying through his teeth. He's lying purely to get money on YouTube. It was a scheme he had planned from the beginning. He did it to his former landlord. She really wasn't his landlord. She technically wasn't.
Now, I covered a couple of minutes of this the other day. All right, to start it off. But somebody, Lisa Lee, Gabriel Weeks, decided they wanted to take down a live stream or any live stream that talked about him and his cocaine issue and his going to be arrested, which again, we have it under review right now. The MCN is pushing it with YouTube. We ran into the weekend. So of course, over the weekend, it takes time. But yeah, it was a fun time. Like I said yesterday, we turned all of that information over. But since that has been ghosted and people cannot watch it, I figure we will just add this in. Now, I do think this part was really funny because she was like, yeah, he did this money scheme where he went after his landlord. Well, not really his isn't, you know, again, it sounds like the whole, my mom just died. My mom didn't die. You know, it's like, well, what are they? What exactly are they?
The other guy was that illegally rented to him, but regardless, I have a handwriting expert document that will be released immediately.
You know what's funny? Michelle was told how bad her handwriting expert was. She was told that. I am certain of it, by the way. And when she was told about it, she wasn't very thrilled about that. But she stated, again, she has doubled and tripled down. What I'd really like to have an answer to, by the way, is she said that, again, it costs $14,000. The handwriting expert's garbage report. $14,000. Where'd that come from? They never collected that amount of money. They never collected thousands, let alone tens of thousands of dollars to use for an expert report. But what she had told someone else, and again, I'm not saying this is true, but what she had said is that Bruce initially paid for it. And then he was given the money back from monies that had been raised on YouTube for that. And I was like, there's never been any money raised for that. So are you telling me that $14,000 of the money that was supposed to be for the barn dough and stuff went for a piece of shit report that you can't even use? And if that report costs $14,000, it doesn't seem to align with the costs that are listed for getting an expert opinion from him. And again, I use expert very loosely. You know, if you are forced not to be, it took me 5 minutes to find cases that involved this guy where he had been just torn apart. And I'm not talking about by the other side. I'm talking about by judges. Judges had torn him apart. Yeah, I couldn't believe. It's just like anything else these folks have done. You know, if you're going to go hire an expert will say pretty much whatever you want. I've run into that myself. You know, I've ran into experts that'll say just unbelievably fucked up things, and they're usually just they usually have a lot of credentials. And this guy, the only positive articles out there, when you look up handwriting expert, he has all these positive articles, but they're because they're written by him. It's kind of like Volmint and paint chips. They talk about how great they are enough that the search engines start repeating their garbage. You have to look beyond the person's own writing, and you look at reviews. By the way, the guy does have a couple of reviews out there too. Let me see if I can dig one up while we're talking. Let's continue, and then I'll do that. But
that shows everybody that I did not write the signs. So therefore, that whole thing goes bye-bye down the drain.
She thinks just because you got a you got a guy that you pay to say, hey, I did not do that. Therefore, it's all gone. I got this person to say that, therefore I win. That's not how it works, lady. Do you really win too? If you lose your property, did you really win anything? I mean, honestly, you folks, you answer that for me. Do you think if she loses her property, did she win anything? Because I don't see the win in that. The one thing I would have imagined that she wanted to keep was her freaking property. But again, she's acting like somehow if she loses her property, she is somehow still winning. And like, how? You know, if everything's gone in bankruptcy, you know, if you and John, if he ends up with all of that, how exactly did that work out? Yeah, so here's a wonderful review that was left, by the way. Here's a question. Anyone ever work with or against handwriting expert Kurt Baggett? All info is welcome. And here was one of the answers. Guy is awful. Had him in a case where he argued with the judge while on the stand, and he was so unimpressed, the court literally put the word expert in quotes when referring to him. Avoid at all costs. Imagine that being your expert. Is like, this guy was so bad that when the judge was talking and saying things, he decided to argue with him. And when they referred to him, they put expert in quotes. Holy shit. What a great guy. What a great guy. Oh, I love these people. I do. The saddest thing, I love that one day it will end for Jeremy Hales, but I hate one day it'll end that we won't get all of their stupid life opinions. Because these are some of the most wretched, bungling fools ever. God, I really do hope that they, again, I don't wish a lawsuit on somebody, but at the same time, I really do hope that Gabriel didn't hoover up all of the Megan Fox lawsuit money. I really hope they fucking get that money together soon. Because Megan's going to destroy them, and I want to see it.
But the next thing I want to say, Megan, you keep saying that my grandchildren were removed from me. No, my grandchildren were not removed from me. My grandchildren.
Megan showed all the proof that this woman, by the way, I'm just going to let this roll through about the grandkid thing because she pulled up the other night. Again, we covered a few minutes. She showed all of that. Again, if you have not seen that, by the way, that actually got taken down as part of that video will go back up. We just have to get to the right people, and it takes sometimes it takes a week or so. But as part of that, and when we do, we're going to have a big fun laugh at them stream. But she showed all the quotes where Michelle herself had said that her grandkids were taken away. So there were her own statements. Oh, by the way, Michelle, I have a question for you. You do know that people know about your sock puppet account, right? Yeah. You do know that you gave yourself away the other day with your sock puppet account, and you actually said something that linked it definitively to you. Just a minute, I'm gonna have a record. Give me a second. I'm gonna tell you something funny. Hey kiddo, what is that? Oh, is that your belt for your?
Well, my outfit.
Yeah, is that it come off?
Yeah, it came off.
That's very pretty. I like your outfit. That's a pretty dress.
If you just put it up, if you just put it around, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It looks like it's like a ninja hat.
Oh, it's like a little ninja belt. Yeah, here, turn around.
It reminds me of my.
Oh, your belt that you had, like your karate belts?
Yeah. I didn't want to go back to karate.
Well, we'll look at karate then again. Huh? If you want to do karate.
Yeah. Yeah, I do want to go do karate.
Okay. You do. Here, this is at 71, by the way. Yeah, people are saying hi, by the way.
Hi.
Right. You go have fun, okay?
Should I do karate again?
Should you do karate again? They're going to say yes if you want to. I'm saying if you want to do it again. You didn't want to do it for a while, but.
Yeah, I do want to do karate.
All right, well, go do it if you want to go do it.
Yeah.
Hey, here's a question.
Hey,
can you answer a question? So, you know Megan Fox, right? We've heard from her before, right? You know what Megan Fox told me the other day?
What?
She said, there's one thing in the world that I want more than anything else.
What?
She said that I want a pet rat. And I need Bug to say, people in the chat, will you help me get a pet rat? Because
you didn't even move that.
Yeah, that's what she said. So can you help and
I
say,
do want to go back to karate though.
Okay. Well, can you say something for me
What?
first? Can you say, chat, please help us fundraise Megan Fox a pet rat?
Okay. But can Jack give my Megan Fox a pet rat?
See, look at that, man. See, you know what? We make dreams come true. That's right. Give me 5.
Megan Fox and my like not like that.
Oh, she wants it. She said, the one wish I've always had since I was a child.
I like that snake.
Yeah, she also said the one wish I've had since I was a child was to get a snake. She said something about that too, but that's later. We'll talk about that another day.
Hey guys, we got another snake.
Yeah.
We got another snake.
Look, Megan Fox is in the chat, and she said, Bug, please convince the people that I want a rat. That's what it says.
No, that's definitely not Megan Fox.
No, that was Megan Fox right there. I saw her say it. She said, yeah, that's great. See?
That's different.
That is Megan Fox for real. That was her. Yeah. So give me 5. We're gonna get her that pet rat, right?
Yeah. It may
Can we
be
change it? Pet rat.
A pet snake.
Oh, a pet snake. Pet snake. So you want to upgrade her to a snake? Yeah, actually, you know what? I had to
what about like a snake like that?
Oh yeah, he's a cute one, isn't he?
Yeah, and we can.
Should I pull up a picture of him while we're talking about him real quick?
Yeah. Hey guys, we got a new snake.
Yeah. Now, he's a cutie too, isn't he?
Yeah. Megan Fox should get this way, or we should give her one.
We should. Oh man. Well, you know what? I had a talk with her the other day, and she said, "You know what, Tug?" She said, "There's one thing I've always wanted since I was a child, and that's a pet snake."
We should get her that kind of.
Oh, we should. Here, I'll pull up a picture of it because she will love it. Here, let's pull her up a picture, right?
Here we
so
go.
Look at that.
Look, he's a cutie.
Isn't he a cutie?
Yeah, he's a
man.
cutie, a patootie.
There's Mr. Coop too. He said, "Hey, there's you some candy money, because we know it makes the crook mad." That's right.
Yeah,
that's right. But yes, you know what?
A snake is a cutie patootie.
There he is. Look at him. Look at that. Isn't he? Isn't he?
Yeah, cute? He's our snake, and we can hold him when we ever want.
Yeah.
Because he's a tiny fellow.
Yeah.
You can see his head right there.
He is cute, yeah. Well, Megan said that though she likes much longer snakes, and she likes like the rat snake that looks scary. She said the scarier.
No, I think it was like that because you can actually hold it.
think so. Well, she could hold the rat snake. It just might bite her a few times, but that's okay.
No, we're still like one that wouldn't bite her.
No.
Like,
Well, Megan Fox told me one time too. She was
No.
like, Tug, here's a secret. I don't mind being bitten by my pet snake.
you don't have to say just get her dance water. Just get God. Just get one like that. Instead to make it Fox.
Does Dad play jokes on people all the time?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think I'm playing a joke on Megan Fox?
Yeah.
Yeah, you do.
I'm just joining with the joke, but if there was a snake, I would choose that.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that is a beautiful snake. All right.
Yeah, and won't bite.
Well, thank you for your
And
help.
therefore, if you ever want a snake, get this one. It will never bite you.
That's true. It
What
doesn't.
is the snake kind?
It's a corn snake.
Yes, a corn snake. So people, if you want a corn snake, you can buy one at your local pet store that sells snakes too.
That's true. All right. No, you
You
go
bet-
upstairs.
You
go
better
have a-
get the one that doesn't bite.
Well, those little bitty ones, they don't bite like that. So, love you.
We used to hold him.
Yep, we do. We'll get him out later and check him out, okay? Love you.
I know.
Close the door. Oh, Megan. And he's like, I beat you up. She's saying all that in the chat. She's like, I didn't say that. Remember her, she's still, she saw certain things, but she's over there reading them out, and the chat rolls too fast for her to get it all. Like she said, though, she's like, Dad, just practical jokes all the time, too. Yeah. Yes. So as you heard from the little one there, we have endorsed getting Megan. Maybe we can hybridize it. Maybe we can get her see, she wants a rat and a snake. Why can't we just combine them and get her a rat snake? That makes sense, right? So anyway, let's go back to this.
Were given between my sister and I. We each had custody of the kids. My sister had all of them at one point. I had the babies next. Then I got the big kids. Then the big kids went home to their moms and their mom and dad. That's what happens, as you know, Megan.
As you know, Megan.
As you know, Megan.
As you know, Megan. I just love it.
As you know, Megan. With child cases, at least you should know.
At least you should know, Megan. Her own words, man. Megan Fox has pulled up again. She has a wonderful array of this woman's own words and this woman's own words. She's like, Megan, as you well know. It's like, well, what I do know is that you said X, Y, and Z. I've never said that. I've never said it. It's like, dude, here's your own posts you were talking about. But yeah, so I was talking about before, Preston. Again, I'm being a little vague about this, but yeah, you know, it would be really weird if somebody, say, had proof of the sock puppet accounts you've been using, wouldn't it? Like, if maybe proof had actually been found. Wouldn't that be odd, chat, if there was definitive proof that showcased that, yes, she indeed has been using sock puppet accounts? That would be very strange, wouldn't it? It's out there, by the way. You messed up, lady. You messed up. I love the fact that she made a mistake on that, too. But she did. She made a mistake in her sock puppet accounts. And I'm not going to tell her how. It'll come up later, but you did. And what really makes that fun is some of the stuff that you've said under that sock puppet account while you were pretending that it was just some rando out there. Well, it'll be real fun because one of the things I learned about that was that account had been popping up in chats and conversing as if it was just some random person. But really, Preston, it was you. And I'm sure you're going to deny. I'll give you a chance to admit to your sock puppet account. I'm going to give you a chance to. And then after you decide you're not going to admit to it, we will dump proof about it. How does that sound? Does that sound like fun, folks? Do you think that sounds enjoyable, folks? Yes. Preston, like I said, you messed up. See, I think it's funny when you see an account that backs these people almost wholeheartedly sometimes, you're like, no way is that a real person, right? Well, guess what? Sometimes they aren't real people. Sometimes it is indeed a fake account or a sock puppet that is controlled by them. And I love it when they mess up and they actually give themselves away in the game. But she did. She did. Isn't that fun?
That when the parents do what they're supposed to do and they go through the hoops and they complete their stuff, their children are reunited with them. My grandchildren were reunited with the mom and dad. My daughter at that time chose to leave the babies with me. So the babies stayed with me until they were 3.5. That's what happened. Can't say it any different because the truth is the truth.
Wait, what? Well, that's what the stuff that you post yourself. That's not the truth. I got you. Okay.
That's it. So
Tree stranger. I mean, tree stranger.
Teresa Greer, I don't know who you are.
Oh, I'm sorry. Teresa Greer.
Every right to
Every time I see any kind of tea, I keep expecting a tree stranger to pop up, you know? That's how I always wait for. Anytime I see a tea name, I'm like, come on, let's get a tree stranger out of this one. But Teresa Greer, you really pissed her off the other day. That was really funny. Out of the first thing, Megan got under her skin. And again, they're talking about if she ever goes live again, they're going to make sure that you can't ask her questions because all she wants out there is her truth. And she's mad that nobody will ask her about her truth. But if you ask her about her truth, she's going to ban you. So just remember that. What that'll do, Lynette, is at first people will find it interesting. They will find the novelty in you being out there. They will end up getting you monetized. And you will get a little taste of that ad revenue. And then right after that, you're going to get banned. You're going to have it go off or something because you're going to do something crazy. Or even worse, you'll fall into obscurity. If you don't let people ask questions, what happens is they stop caring. She can't understand that. People want to hear the truth. They don't want to hear her truth. And part of the truth is having her answer questions and then being able to go out. By the way, she also said that she would take a lie detector. I'm still up. I asked for a date for the lie detector, Lynette. I told you I'd pay for it. I asked for availability dates. And guess what happened? She ghosted. She turned off all the comments instead. Isn't that ironic? Don't you think? It's a little too ironic. I've heard a few examples of that. I swear. This woman, man. It's kind of like Wayne on your wedding day. It's like a free ride. You've already paid. No, I'm sorry. I can't help myself.
To defend myself. I know you don't want me to because then the lies get disputed, don't they? They get debunked.
It's debunked.
And that's exactly what I'm doing.
She's debunking
I'm
you.
standing up for myself and I am debunking the lies.
Man.
The grandchildren were beautiful, healthy, happy kids.
Mm-hmm.
They went back to their parents. They're amazing. They're in my life right now. So, I mean, You guys just can pass all the lies you want. It's not going to change the truth.
You're all liars. Now you notice she has the 2L trait. She doesn't plan anywhere where this stuff goes. She goes from subject to subject. And then she went to Ashley. Now, if you have not kept up with the Ashley debacle that this woman has presented, it's yet another person in her life, or that was in her life, that she has now decided, well, got to attack them. So let's check it.
I sent out an email to Ashley asking her to remove the TikTok videos because of all the negativity, all of the lies. And this is how she reacted. That's fine. But you doing this is wrong, and you know it.
Was it fun?
You know it, Ashley.
Was it fun? You threatened her.
In the end, there's a lot more that you should worry about coming out than I should.
Yeah. Now you saw her document, by the way, that she put out with this, saying that the document just 100% exonerated her. But when you look at the document, it actually seems to more back Ashley's version of anything. It definitely does not prove anything that Lynette has said, but it actually seems to back, because she was saying that despite everything that was being reported, that the police and everything, they wanted to initially believe Lynette Preston. And that's exactly what you saw. One of the things that we see time and again in cases, in fact, is police, even though they should investigate, they should see what's going on, oftentimes do not. They don't care what happens there, because it's work. It's wild what happens, with kids, because well, you look at what's going on with all the stuff. And again, I'm not talking about a kid thing, just with everything as of late. You look at everything that we've seen with Hales and more. You see these people try to talk their way out of it. So you can imagine a kid that is trying to get somebody to listen, and Lynette Preston being right there in the forefront and being like, oh, that's just my lying kid that I was forced to take on as a burden because of blah, blah, because I'm the best person ever, and I love them, I swear to God, but they're, oh, God, you can only imagine, right? I can only imagine the way that she talked about her, because one of the things you don't ever feel in these conversations here is love. I don't see any love in it. I don't see even the shadow of it.
It's coming to the point where I am about to disclose everything. And I don't think you want that. I have never...
Megan is like, show it.
I've never been through any of this in my life, and I don't know really how to deal with it.
Yeah, you've never had anybody ask for accountability, right?
My kids didn't live what they learned. Unfortunately, I had a hard childhood. Yep, I was abused as a kid.
My kids did not live what they learned. My kids did not live what they learned. All of her kids, you notice that's a shot at all the kids, by the way. My kids, plural, did not. I'm a great parent. I did this great stuff, but they didn't live what they learned. And then, of course, she talks about her own victimhood, which does not, by the way, answer any of the allegations in this. That's one thing that drives me nuts with this kind of stuff too. You saying, well, I went through X, Y, and Z, that does not eliminate anything that someone else has talked about with you, even if true. In fact, I hate it. Like, she's being accused of ugly things that she's done. You know, again, Ashley walked away too. She couldn't stand it. And now she just keeps threatening her, and she has to bring in. Actually, I was. But you know, it's funny in this when she says that. Remember, Lynette tells you not to believe other people. She tells you not to believe Ashley. So why should anybody believe her? I mean, do you ever think that? Because when I see stuff like that, that's what I think. I'm like, why should I believe you if you tell me not to believe someone else? You're like, listen and believe me. See, she wants you to believe her stories of abuse, but she doesn't want you to believe anyone else's.
Kid, not physically.
You know
In
what's
other
interesting?
ways, yes.
She says that she was not physically abused, by the way. She was the same things that she admits to her being convicted of. And she says John is there. She said she was convicted of being emotionally and verbally abusive. She says that John is emotionally and verbally abusive. Huh. So the very things that she attaches to someone else, those are the very things that, and again, you're supposed to listen and believe her story on that it happened to her, but do not believe anyone else that says that she did anything like that. Don't believe it, guys. That's just, nope, that's the bridge too far.
And my abuser's dead. The other part of it, you've put it all over the internet.
By the way, who put it all over the internet? Who put the part of the internet? How would we ever talk about her mother? How would I ever know, or you ever know anything about her mother? So for her to say that we've put it all over the internet, how would we do that? They're her words. She's talked about her mother, you know, all the terrible things, supposedly. But also she's saying, you know, certain other things, they don't matter because they time out. She's saying abuse in the past doesn't matter. And it does. It absolutely does. So with her, she's like, you bring up things from like 50 years ago. That stuff doesn't matter. Yeah. I would be willing to say it makes one hell of an impact on people.
It's disgusting that you bring up stuff from, 50 years ago. That's ridiculous. Just ridiculous. Just to hurt someone, just to hurt an entire family so that you can make money on YouTube. Because that's all this is. You're slandering, libeling, bullying, harassing, all for money. And it's disgusting. It's disgusting.
I love how she's indignant, and then it goes to, hi, Bearded.
Hi, Bearded. I send my love. I just showed proof, and
What is I binged? I still don't get that. Does anybody understand why I binged came up?
getting all the proof. What proof do you want? We've asked for anybody to give anything that shows that I posted one thing about Mr. Hales. One thing. One thing.
We have posted it over and over again, lady. Over and over again. I want my money, and Megan wants her money, and many other people want their money. You promised us. You never said there was thousands just for one person. You said, if anybody showed it, then. Well, many people have shown it. You owe us money. But again, it's like trying to operate, walk through life with your eyes closed. No, I never saw anything. Well, you couldn't because you won't open your fucking eyes.
And nobody could bring it. Money was even offered, and nobody could bring it.
We brought
it. Why? Because it never existed. I have the text messages and emails between he and I when everything was kosher, everything was good.
Now, of course, you knew where this was going to go, right? But then my daughter, just like with everyone else, It becomes, but then my daughter, you can just feel it happening, right? It's the same thing that she's pulled with, like Ashley, for example. And I mean, with anybody, the weapon of choice.
And then it wasn't. The minute they met my daughter, the minute they met Harley, everything changed.
Why the fuck? See, these people are so just, even that right there, that statement. You think that statement is not a disgusting statement? Because what are you trying to say? You saying that they saw a kid and they want to take it from you? Why? They could, no. No. I mean, such a bizarre statement. And the things that you read from that are pretty bad, you know?
And I kind of made him look bad at town hall, but he was wrong. And I had to show that he was wrong, period. But I've done nothing. I have done nothing. I can mention his name. There is no protective order. The order ended
It's a protection
April 20th.
order.
Again, you should do your research.
This crazy old bat, by the way. Shit, did they ever? It's like this. With a protection order, did a protection order ever exist at all? If no one enforces it, does it really exist? If a tree falls in the forest, you know, I wonder that, though. Again, it's supposed to. Yes, it exists out there, but if there is no enforcement, does it exist? The things that they like, and when they enforce it too, it's like, no, 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 you don't do that. $50 fine, $50 fine. You keep doing it, you might get a $100 fine. Holy shit, man. I mean, I wonder, you know, people say oftentimes that things happen out there and it discourages victims from doing anything. I would think this whole mess that we've seen with these people discourages victims from asking for help.
Do your research. And I'm the only one telling the truth.
You notice this too? Look, Lisa's a liar. Everyone else is a liar. Only Lynette Preston is telling the truth. Only Lynette Preston. You did catch that, right? I'm the only one telling the truth. Everyone else is a liar. Her kids, they are liars. Jeremy Hales is a liar. John Cook is a liar. Lisa's a liar. Gabe's a liar. Robbie's a liar. Bruce is a liar. Megan's a liar. You see, everyone else except her. Isn't that interesting? I like that. I'm the only one telling the truth.
And I'm the only one telling the truth.
That's what her life boils down to.
Teresa Greer, whoever you are, you're lying.
Teresa Greer?
No, my child is not in the room. My child is not abused. Sorry, my daughter is very loved. She's more loved than she could ever be, considering she wasn't supposed to be here at all on this earth. Twice they tried to unalive her.
Look at this shit. Again, I am so disgusted with this woman. Because she talks about people putting things online that the child will find later. I thought it was 3 times, by the way. Didn't she say it was 3 times before? I'm confused. Wasn't it 3 times before that they tried to abort her, that she said? And now it's 2 times? That's right, isn't it, folks? I mean, she did say that it was 3 times, right? Yeah, exactly, Miss. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I knew. I was like, I can't keep up with her. There's so many lies. I can't keep up with them. But I was like, I know she said 3 times last time. And now it's 2 times. I'm a creditor. How am I a creditor? I'm as much of a creditor as 2L. I'll say that.
Twice it didn't work. Thank you, God, it didn't work. And God gave her to me. I knew about her before the mother even told me about her.
What?
So there you go.
What does that mean?
I can't read the chat.
What kind of craziness? She also was like, the chat's moving too fast. Look, check this out. I'm going to show you the chat speed. All right. Where she's playing this game. Here, I want to show you and we'll come right back. All right. But here's the other chat. It has the same amount of people. Okay. This is the same amount of people. She's saying, I can't answer you, chat, because the chat says it's moving too fast. Okay. I'm going to do a real time. Okay. Here we go. I just want to show you the speed the chat goes at for that. All right. This is her real chat. Now you can see the timer down here. I'm not going to let it go too far, but you notice something with this, right? You notice it moved after 10 seconds. It ticked twice. Okay. Now, Sheila here, the last message on there, it was saying, if you don't know it, right? How long does it take that message to scroll upward? Let's see. All right, it's still there after 1.5 minutes. It's still there after 2 minutes. It's still there after, let's see. So it takes it about 2 minutes and 10 seconds for the bottom message to scroll to the top. So she's telling people, I can't answer your questions because it's moving too fast. And it's like, really? I don't think so. I'm watching the chat move, and it is definitely not moving too fast. Again, it takes 2 minutes for the bottom statement to move to the top. It's so fast. It's like a blazing inferno.
It's going too fast, but I don't know what some of these questions are. I never said that about John. No, I did not. So stop lying. John's never touched Harley, ever. John would kill somebody if they touched Harley. John just is a smart ass, and sometimes he likes to violate my rules. That's all.
So you're telling me that sometimes John likes to violate your rules. This is something I found really disturbing too. So what were her rules, folks? Do you remember what the rules were? I'll read you a couple of the rules, all right? Just to inform you of the rules. And Lynette, you can tell me what rules are being violated here, because I found this disturbing. She said on her post, all these posted things are rules, all right? So she said on that, again, these are her rules from the 2023 thing. She said, I don't like it when his shorts hike all the way up in his show. And the baby's right there. When I tell him to knock it off, he says to shut the F up. He can do whatever the hell he wants. Okay, that's a rule, she said. I tell him, don't let the baby play with your chest hairs. That's the second one. Don't go under the covers and start kissing on the baby. That's 3. So there's 3 rules there that she stated. And she says, John likes to violate my rules. What rule? Which one? No. I find all of those. Man, I hate these fucking people. Do not contact anyone about these stuff. By the way, we are talking opinion. It is allowed. She's posting this shit publicly. They all are. They're talking about it all publicly. So it does invite criticism and critique. What in all of that is normalized? Again, you know, it would be normalized. The first one's gross. I can't even imagine like running around. I don't wear shorts anyway, but I can imagine like that happening. You know, I'm wearing my shorts and yeah. With anybody, I don't care what company, but that's really gross with the kid. The chest thing, I don't really have that problem, but I could see that happening. But her noting it as she's accused so many of her exes of SA, so many of them, that it happens and she's just like, oh, He's violating my rule again. Or taking the baby under cover and kiss. Those are her rules. That's what she said. I'm not accusing anybody of anything, by the way. She doesn't care what you think, by the way. Make fun of it. I'm not making fun of it. What I'm saying is it's fucked up. You have a fucked up setup in your house, and you have accused this man of horrible things. You have also said that you're afraid that he will do something terrible to your daughter. You said that. You said that. Not me. You actually said that. You talked about him as a monster. You said about John, he's just as dangerous, just as abusive as Jeremy. He's an alcoholic. And I believe that he would do something bad to my daughter. Okay. You said that. Those are my words.
And I don't care what you all think. You can make fun of it. You can do whatever. But you know what the rules are for? They're not just to protect Harley, but they're to protect any men that are around. Lloyd, camper guy.
What a weirdo. You know, it's interesting. She's saying, now she's going to make a thing about Lloyd. She's going to talk about having rules where a kid can't sit on the lap of somebody. Okay. Now it's okay, though, for certain other people out there to not only have them sitting on their lap, but to take pictures and dump them all over the internet. That's okay. That's okay. But Lloyd camper guy, he's got to catch flack because he left these people. Thank God Lloyd got off that property before they tried to, quote unquote, buy his camper for $1, as they told everyone else.
You know what pissed that man off so bad? I wouldn't let Harley sit in his lap.
Now, again, this is after Lloyd has been gone for how long? She's taken strays at Lloyd, a guy who helped her out. This is why I would never help these people out, by the way. This guy paid for their bills. He gave them stuff. I mean, he gave them thousands and thousands of dollars. He gave them tools and other stuff, but he decided to leave. So she starts just saying all kinds of crazy shit about him after the fact. What proof is there of any of this? Because she certainly didn't have any problem with him when he was there. We saw the text messages. Huh. But now, her beautiful girl on an old man's lap. It's like, what the fuck, dude? She decides to deflect away from John by throwing shade at Lloyd.
Why in the world would I let my beautiful little girl sit in the lap of an old man that I didn't even know?
She didn't know him, right? But she left her kid around him. She let him live on the property. See, this is the fucked up thing about this, right? Let's take it to another extreme here, Lynette. You let these people on your property that you say you don't know. They have access. You talk about every one of them being some kind of degenerate or a drunk or a drug user, some kind of monster. But then you come back and you're like, I never even knew who they were. Oh, Jesus.
And why was it such a big issue to that guy to have her sit in his lap?
Yep.
What did he get from it?
Baby.
It's disgusting. I have said nothing in court about John molesting Harley. You people are liars. You are liars. Liars. Yeah, get the transcript and show it. Show it where I said that John molested Harley. Prove it. Provide it. Because you can't. It's never been said.
Now, you said you were afraid he would do terrible things. You said the girl said this or that.
The man was a friend
Now
of John's friend.
Now she's got to deflect from Lloyd. Oh, yeah, a stranger around there. Oh, well, it's a friend of John's friend. What? A friend of John's friend.
And he needed a place to put his camper for a couple months. And we were purchasing the camper, and he was leaving for up north to live with his daughter. That's what happened. I didn't leave Harley alone with him. I didn't leave him near her ever. She's never without me. Harley is always with me because that's where she wants to be. I'm a good mother. I protect her and I keep her safe.
Now look, she's like, no, I want you to, again, I really need you to drink this part in right here, because I'm going to read you the statement she wrote. She's going to tell you this statement is not about John.
No, it wasn't John she was talking about, and I'm not going to get into who she was talking about. It wasn't John. You're assuming that I'm talking about John.
She cuts out.
It wasn't John at all. It was somebody else.
Okay, now it's somebody else. Now I'm going to read this to you, okay? You tell me who it's about, all right? I'm going to read it to you. I think that is the fairest way to make a decision about who this is about, all right? I'm going to read it all, that it's here. You have to realize, too, that John likes me isolated. He thinks I'm going to let him spend time with the baby alone. And I'm not, because the baby said something to me. And after she said what she did, I'll never leave him alone with her again. Not to mention the fact that one of the allegations that was made, CPS, was that her, that's actually, I shouldn't say, I'm just going to say the word, molested her. Well, that allegation was made because I told, it's supposed to be Therese Granger, but on the print it says Tree Stranger, that I don't like it when his shorts hike all the way up and his show, and the baby is right there. And when I tell him to knock it off, he tells me to shut the F up. He can do whatever the hell he wants. And I tell him, don't let the baby play with your chest hairs. Don't go under the cover with the baby. Don't kiss her on the mouth. And he tells me to shut the up. He's not one of my effing offending husbands, but I'm tell you, why would my daughter say what she said? I can't prove it, so I can't turn it in, but I'm not turning it in because I don't want to lose my daughter, but I'll keep her away from him the rest of my life. Now, her answer to this later, now, talking about after this stream, she posts something and she says, you know what? This was actually not about John ever. This was actually about one of my daughters, even though it uses his name in it, right? So she posts this thing and says, give me a second here. Let me pull this up. See, it takes a minute to go through her streams because, again, I don't like just leaving her information out there and not noting what she has said, because she retells this shit over and over. So check it out. This is what she's posted after this. I did not want to have to do this, but since Tug is insisting on it, keeps saying John is the one I'm talking about, I was not. Okay. Again, John's name's in it, but she's not talking about him, right? I was not. My daughter Michelle came here and stayed with us when she did. She would be alone with Harley, playing with her, watching her for me. Well, I did work. I thought she said she's never alone with anybody, by the way. Didn't she just tell us that she's a great mother and she's never alone with other people? Right? Well, listen to this story. Listen to how this goes. I did work around the property, whatever, until one day I noticed that just something weird was going on. Harley made some statements, and I said, what are you talking about? And the statement she made was about peeing and a pan in a bottle. I said, okay, what are you talking about? Well, we got Michelle in treatment program. We got her on medication to help get her off drugs, and it ended up not working with her staying with us. She ended up leaving. Again, this is another drug user that apparently had unrestricted access to the child, by the way. Okay. She ended up leaving. She left a bunch of belongings where I found them. I went through the belongings. I found pill bottles full of pee. My daughter had made my child pee in a pan, and she would pee in pill bottles so she could get clean urinalysis. That's what I'm talking about. It had nothing to do with John essaying her, but it was very scary. And coming out of the little tiny child is hard to understand. She was talking about, but after Michelle left and I went through her things, I put it together. What she was talking about. Now you know, and I don't want to talk about it anymore. John has never done anything to Harley, and my daughter did not essay Harley. Harley and my daughter didn't essay her. Okay. She had her pee in a pan or a bowl or something to collect urine. Now we're done with the subject. What in the actual fuck did I just read? That's her. That's the 2026 answer to the 2023 thing that she said about John. So she thought that John, according to her, had a child peeing in pans and stuff. And she was just like, I'm not going to tell anybody. What? What the fuck, man? All of it. What the fuck have I stumbled into? What in the world? Why does no one care? This is my biggest problem with all of this. Why the fuck does no one around that? I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about no one. Why don't they care? When people are like, why do you hate the police? Why do you fucking hate all these systems? I don't hate specific people, but I hate these institutions. And I do hate some of the specific people too. But I really hate these institutions. Why? Well, you're looking at it. This would be a problem if these people were middle class. They would care then. Why? Because they could milk some money out of them. But with this, they don't care. They don't give a fuck. They have an excuse not to pay attention, and they won't. They absolutely won't. And they have made sure that we know that. It's crazy, isn't it?
You guys can call me what you want, but it's ridiculous. I did not write it was John. Provide it.
Okay. I'll provide it. I'll show you right now. I'll show it on the screen. Okay. Because you keep saying that you did not write it was John. Like we're all lying. She never actually used the name John, but she did. I read it to you, but I'll show it to you. Okay. I will show it to you. I think that's fair. Because again, she put in, it's not just that it wasn't about him. She says that she never said it was John. But she did. She absolutely did. Here is the screenshot of it again. You've seen it before. But again, you can see it right there. You have to realize, too, that John right there, likes me isolated. He thinks I'm going to let him spend time with the baby alone. And I'm not, because the baby said something to me. So you can see, and again, she's saying it's about John. She brings up he. It's all over the fact. Him, he. He. You know, the thing I have a problem with is if she's talking about her daughter here, then her daughter has testicles. Her daughter has chest hair. I'm really confused by this subject. I'm very confused by it, aren't you? Strange, huh?
Provide it. Prove it. Because they've taken my daughter in for forensic 48 times they've been here. 48
Are you saying they've taken her in 48 times? Because that didn't happen.
times they've asked her if anyone's touched her. They've asked me. They've asked John. Nobody's ever touched my child. You people are just ridiculous. You know what? Recovering addicts are human beings. They deserve a chance.
We're not talking about drug use. This is not a discussion about addicts. You also said that John was so abusive that he essentially, it put his ex-wife in the ground. She could never be anything again. That's not a discussion about an alcoholic. That is a discussion about another A word. Maybe asshole. Maybe a couple of A words, but also an abuser. That's your own thing. But now she's like, oh, it's just a discussion about an alcoholic. They deserve. See again, all over craziness, isn't it?
I would never let anyone on my property that was actively using drugs.
You said that Jamie Starr fucking Johnson was using drugs. You said when she came to your home, she was so fucking fried, she couldn't do anything. And again, I'm not saying that she did, but you said that. You said that she stayed there and that she was higher than shit. You knew that she was. You have said that about multiple people. And now they're not active users. Oh my God. It is so weird to watch a person lie real time, man. I swear to God. Stop.
I'm sure you've got people in your life that are probably doing drugs you don't even know about, and they're probably around your kids.
Holy God, man.
I have no idea. Yeah, Tug uses kids to make money. That's a truth statement there. No, John is not abusive physically, sexually. No, John is a smart ass. I've said it all along.
Look how mad she is. This is the same woman that discusses with me John Cook being an abusive piece of shit. It's really weird because John Cook now is the nicest guy ever. But when she talks to me about it, see, she's trying to use John Cook's own words with that. But it's funny when John Cook, when he's actually there talking about stuff, it's much different when she's talking to people behind things. Let's listen to what she had to say about you, John. Let's see what she has to say about your ass. Because like I said, that story, it changes a lot. Let me see. You got to turn on the closed caption. Hopefully they'll close caption up. Let's check this out. Hopefully the closed captions will come up. I just pulled it, but it says they will. It's only a minute long. But listen, here's some of the wonderful things she had to say. Whoops. It didn't come on. There we go. Let's try again.
But John is verbally and emotionally abusive.
And he was to me. He was to his ex-wife. He was to his girlfriends. That's who John is. And I'm done with it, and he knows that. He knows that when this is all over, that I'm not going to be here. He's not a physical abuser. He emotionally abuses me because that's just who he is. He hates women.
He hates women, huh?
He don't like women. We're second-class citizens.
Interesting.
Maybe that's why he likes Lisa.
I'm
sorry.
No, but
you know what it is? She pets him. She pets his ego.
Yeah. I can see that.
She pets his ego. Michelle shouldn't treat you like that. She should treat you better. You need someone and deserve somebody who will treat you with love and respect. And you know what the sick part of it is? She knows why I stopped being with John Cook and why we divorced. She knows why I told her. and she used it against me, and that's why I hate her.
Huh. So there's something so horrible that he did, and she found out and used it against her. Dun dun dun. Weird, huh?
John, his words are not the nicest all the time. He doesn't have a whole lot of respect for women all the time. He's right on here. I'm saying it in front of him. But
so John, he doesn't respect. He hates women, but okay, all right. Again, these are not my words. That's the most amazing thing. Like, John is such a wimp. He's okay with all of this being stated like publicly about him. He hates women. He hates all this stuff. Again, not my words. These are Michelle Preston's words. But apparently we're all the devil, right? Because we actually we're always told we don't listen to what she says. And it's all the truth. She never lies. You remember that too. She never lies. But this stuff with John, that's different. Okay, guys? It's totally different. It's actually just about how John was this thing or that thing. Like, okay. Oh, Lord. Does that ever blow your mind when you see some of this? You think, like, where does she think the truth lies? Like, for her, where is the truth? Because she never finds it. You know?
John would never abuse. He would never hit me. He would never touch me. He would never touch Harley. He can be a jerk. Yes, he can be. Sorry, John, but you can be. My grandchildren were never taken away from me. My grandchildren were given back to their parents. What in the hell else can I say? Twist it all you want. The kids went home where they needed to be, and they've remained there still. They're all still with their mother and father.
Oh, my God. Like, she's arguing with the chat. That's what all the...
Bring up, then get the court documents.
We can't get
you hear somebody say it's in a court document.
We can't get them.
Believe it.
We can't get them ready.
Treese Greer, I don't know who you are, but you're a nut job.
Boy, she hates Treese Greer, I tell you. But we can't get the court documents.
I just cannot handle that person. She's just lies and lies and lies.
That's why they want, again, that's why
I don't need to shut up. I have every right to defend myself, and I'm going to.
The person told her to
I'm
shut
done
up.
Sitting back and letting you all walk over me and lie about me. Harley loves me. I love her. John loves her. The only people that are hurting her is you. You.
What about
Megan, Tug, Hales, all of you people, you're destroying the life of a 6-year-old child for nothing more than money.
Mm-hmm.
It's disgusting.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Amazing, isn't it? So we listen to her own words.
Not lost them, taken from me. My daughter believed that I was the one who made the call, so she stopped letting me talk to them for a while.
My daughter believed I was the one that made the call. Huh.
Megan, you have no idea what you're talking about. They didn't remove the kids from me. My daughter thought that I called and turned her in, and I didn't. Her son did. The school did. Period. That's the truth. I can't say it any different. Can't put it any different. But you know what? You're going to twist it and turn it any way you want.
Yeah,
because
don't quote her
that's
words,
who you
Megan.
are. You lie.
How dare you quote her words?
You lie. Everything I've seen from your crap, you lie.
From your
It's
crap.
just disgusting.
She goes through your crap, Megan. What's up?
Rosalind Duke, bring the reports because you're a liar.
You're a liar, Rosalind.
You are a liar. And if we're talking about Ashley, Ashley, all of that stuff was overturned. And Ashley went to court in 2006. And I am waiting on that information to be given to me. So I have to wait and see if I get it. It's up to the courts. I didn't read what Tug said. I'm not really impressed.
She's so butthurt. I'm not even in the chat here. I'm not even there for the longer one. I was there for the other one. You're like, oh my God, I didn't see what Tug said. How dare Tug? How dare him? You know what? We're gonna go. Oh, let's see, what time is it? Oh man, I think I may stop here. Let me write this time so that I know we included a couple of minutes that we had done before, but again, the reason I did that was because the other portions that were here, they had hit. If we do not make it through, we will definitely have all of this by the end of the weekend. Okay. There are 2 big long streams, but I want to talk about what she said. Again, that's also how fair use works. You know, these people don't understand fair use, but fair use, the reason that that this stuff, when we're talking about it, falls under fair use is because we're talking about commentary and criticism based on what this woman has stated. She also cannot argue that we are causing her any type of monetary harm because she's not monetized. She brags about it all the time. That she's not monetized. She brags about it like she's incorruptible. So, let's hit some of these superinos. And then I'm going to jump tonight and we will be back tomorrow. We will have wonderful people on. And the best thing about that will be the most wonderful thing about that will be getting Megan that pet that she loves. Maybe by the end of the week, we can get her a pet. Won't that be amazing? Because, one time I remember it distinctly. We were sitting backstage. It was after something, and she was just pouring her heart out. She said, you know what, Tug? I've only wanted one thing in my life ever. I've wanted it since childhood, and that is a giant spider. The bigger, the better. And I was like, really, Megan? That's crazy. And she's like, yeah. I was like, I've had a couple. And she's like, I've always wanted one, Tug. So that's how I remember it anyway. All right, let's go through. Judy, thank you for the sparkles. Linda, thank you for the sparkles as well. Thank you. My 4 sons, thank you for the silver star. Thank you there. Laura, thank you for the gold coin. Appreciate that. Hey, Alan, thank you for the thumbs up. Thank you, Alan. Forever Not Me, thank you for the 200 jewels in the Gemma. Thank you there. Appreciate that. Max Lab, thanks you for the $2 there. And the Hey Tug. Well, hey there. How you doing, man? And by the way, Max Lab, again, congratulations on monetization. That is a feat I know you worked on for a while. So congrats on that, man. Is that Emerald? Thank you for the, is that right? Emerald? I like that. Thank you for the 440 jewels and the Uncle Alert. Thank you. Appreciate that. In the Clouds, thank you for the silver star. Laura, thank you for the silver star as well. Robin, thank you for the flower. Thank you. Fawn, thank you for the happy poop. Thank you. Hey, Max Lab, thank you also for the happy poops. 2012, thanks for the 2. If Gabe turns gay, is Lisa Flipper? Maybe. Oh my God. I'm telling you, that lady though, that talked about all of the stuff, Kimmy, that they were going after last night. Holy shit. Boy, they were mad at her. That is a stream we definitely need to talk about. Because wow. And not the I'm not talking about their stream. I'm talking about like the allegations, because wow, they were something else. And all they did is just threaten and threaten and threaten. It was just unreal. Hey, what's up? Is it Gross Cup? Thank you. Thank you for the membership. Thank you, Up. Thank you for the membership, and welcome to Tugs Thugs. Thank you for that. I appreciate you. What's up? Views. Thank you for the membership. Thank you. Welcome. Thank you for your membership, and welcome to Tugs Thugs too. I love saying that. Thank you. Rest in B face. Thank you for the gold coin there. Thank you. Baxton, thank you for the sparkles. Ooh. Adair dropped 600 jewels on a mic drop. Yeah, baby. Wish I had a little mic drop here so I could drop it. That'd be cool. I need a little animation for that where I can put it on the screen when I read it. I think that would be good too. MaxLab, thank you for the clutch. Thank you. MaxLab also, thank you for the 100. Appreciate that. Adair, thank you for the flower. Diana, thank you for the sparkle. Almost Boomercraft. I like that. Almost Boomercraft. I like that. Thank you for the thumbs up. William, thanks for the 10 there. I read this. I thought that was the good statements. Again, the Southern Old Boys Club is a very real thing. It is very real. Ashley, thanks for the month there. Appreciate it. Tug, my chat. Now I made a story on my live and somehow you ended up in it. It was great. We had fun. I'll have to check it out. I've been indisposed. This week has been so crazy. It's been crazy online, but it's been crazy offline too. So I had all my doctor stuff and everything. By the way, I go back to them on the 25th. The worst thing about all of that, I'm glad I'm finally getting some traction there. But my Lord, everything you do in the doctor's office is expensive as shit. So, it's like, hey, we had testing and everything else, which was good. I'm glad we had it. But after doing it, the answer for it was $672 the other day. And when I'm going back, it's somewhere around, it's cheaper, at least this time, it's like $250. But I'm like, good Lord, and we haven't even gotten to procedures yet. It's amazing by the time you actually get to the problem you've spent a lot of money, a lot of money. They're very good at, you notice how procedures never get cheaper either. The technology gets better. It becomes more mass produced, but it never really gets cheaper. It hits I'm not saying from where it first came in. Sure, from where it first came in, it's cheaper. But once it hits like a certain line, in fact, when you take in the amount of money, something like $300 today versus $300 in 2000, it's a different value. It's crazy, isn't it? But hey, thank you, by the way. I needed a moment to rant about that too. Jen, thank you for the sparkles. Thank you there. What a time to be me. I love that name, by the way. Thank you for the GG. Was that Lori? Thank you for the sparkles. Barnyard Sally. I love that name too. Thank you for the gold coin. Ralph, what's up? Thank you for the gold coin too. Andre, thank you for the $2 there and some candy money. I'll have to tell her about that. I didn't see it roll in, or I would have told her right then, Andre, by the way, but I will show her. She's funny today. What's funny is, when I'm joking, she'll put her hand over my mouth, like, stop, for a second. And it's really funny because she knows I'm messing with Megan. She knows all that stuff is obviously a joke. Yeah, because she pranks me and I prank her. So she's going to be funny. The oldest is a prankster too. Nanya Beeswax, thank you for the thumbs up. Thank you there. Mr. Coop, thank you again for the candy money. And again, Mr. Coop and D Spills the Tea, they will be on tomorrow. Bill May, thank you for the gold coin. Oh, look, Mr. Coop, he is actually helping out with that snake fund. That's very important, by the way. We must get that for her. Greg, thank you for the silver star. JC, thanks to the two. Ellen OP seems to live the scorched earth life. Yes, she does. I mean, all these people do. Like, in that group, honestly, which one are friends that they would never burn? Like you look at that group of people and really ask yourself, who in that wouldn't somebody burn? Like LMNOP burns everybody. Like you're right. She does live the scorched earth life. She goes after every person she has ever had any kind of contact with. All of them. It doesn't matter if they're family. It doesn't matter if they're husbands. It doesn't matter, if they're children, supposed friends. They're all fair game. And they all get it sooner or later. All of them. It's crazy. Jane, thank you for the 200. Jules, and then Jammin, thank you there. JC, thank you for the 10 there. The judge specifically said the protection order stays in place until I rendered my verdict. The protection order is in effect. How is she that stupid? My whole thing, like I said, with the protection order, and it really bothers me. Well, I'll hit this first. It really bothers me was the protection order ever really effective? And, I think that's a problem, not just with the Jeremy Hale's protection order, but with any of them. If you call the police about a protective order violation, they don't want to enforce it. I had the DA when I had mine, and again, this is a long time ago. I'm not belaboring to go and say, I'm just talking about protective orders. So the DA with a violation of protective order. And with that, the DA's response to that was, I'm going to give a warning. I was like, a warning? There is no warning. It's either a violation or it isn't. You don't give warnings for violations. But that's what he did. He was like, I will not prosecute for a violation. And he was like, this is fucked up, So you're not going to uphold, but that's the way that people are treated with protective orders. And then you get into these really bad jurisdictions where, like Levy County, where they're not just not enforcing the protective order, they're treating you like you having the protective order. Somehow you're the aggressor. So ultimately, to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if the system fails on that, because has the system not already failed anyway? When you have police that are plotting with Lynette behind the scenes, we're finding that they're having off the book meetings and shit talking about what's going to go on with that protective order. That tells me that system's already failed. We don't even have to get to it. It already failed. And it disturbs me. It disturbs me because, again, the protective order stuff is not just about Jeremy Hales. It's not just about them. It's about anyone that has one. Because that system, again, it fails. I've very rarely seen people. What a protective order basically does is, if something terrible is happening, it puts it on. It documents it, that if something terrible occurs, who exactly was responsible. Whether, you're talking about something terrible happening to the protected individual, or they have to protect themselves and something terrible happens with that. I mean, it's just ultimately a document they don't give a fuck about. That's very disturbing. I hate that. JC, thanks for the 2 there too. HG is a pouty train. How's she being pronounced? Well, that's it's very true. It's very true. And also, again, I like how she just comes up with this brand new story that pops up. And again, I've heard something related to that subject, not specifically to John Cook in that subject, but with an addict in the family there, and them. I'm wondering about something. I'm going to see about bringing that up. But I heard an interesting story, and I very much believe it, by the way. But in that, I wonder if I'm hearing about where that story actually came from. Because I don't trust Lynette Preston. I've never seen her tell the truth. But also, how in the world does this story, that 3 years after the fact, she's hammering John and saying he's dangerous. to a kid. She's telling other people this shit behind the scenes. Her words. She is telling them. And now she's decided that it's not beneficial anymore to keep with that narrative. I like how, again, they like to blame people like myself. Like, I'm not reading her own words. So apparently, me listening to her, apparently, that makes me the bad guy. But that's how it always is. These pieces of shit, that's how they always operate. You'll watch. Other cases will be the same way, too. Crazy, isn't it? Deborah, thank you for the gold coin, by the way. Greg, thank you for the happy poop there. Thank you. Huggy Bee, thank you for the silver star. Thank you there. Hey, what's up, Parody Bella? Thank you for the 5 there. The Kimmy smear stream was deflection at Fleabag's best. Yes, that is right. That's why I did not spend the entire night talking about it without a connection, but it was her wanting to not talk about Gabe. She wanted to avoid the subject at all costs, because when you start talking about Gabe, you have to start talking about other things like money and more. They want to avoid that, because those subjects can go hand in hand. When people start asking about where their money is and stuff, whoops. Whoops. That house of cards is ready to collapse. It is. Again, I'm seeing more people that have been around for a long time that they aren't there. When you look at that chat, how many names do you recognize that have been there for a long time? There are a few, like I said, there's the Marlas that, of course, Marla has nothing else in her life. You know, she'll never have a problem with anything. But many of these people, they'll never be back again. It's crazy, isn't it? Okay, the cat lady, thanks for the 25 months. I personally made sure that the Kimmy transcript I sent you was accurate, and I believe her. I believe she's telling the truth. Yeah, I made sure to pick up the stream itself too. I did. I made sure to grab it as well to make sure when I reviewed it that I wasn't misquoting her in any way. You know, I didn't want to misquote her, so I did make sure that I saw it. But I appreciate all you guys that sent over. I think there were 2 people that sent it. And with anything like that, please do. Please, if you think there is something that sheds light, you know, there are a lot of people that are connected to these folks that have been over that they refuse to look at things until somebody that they know has spoken up, and they did their best to try to destroy Kimmy, a person that again was connected to them at one time, but they also did their best to deflect. Miss Sparkles, thank you for the sparkles there. I like that, Mrs. Sparkles. With the sparkles, I like it. It fits. Also, thank you for the floating heart. Love it. Astrid, thank you for the gold coin. Thank you there. Greg, thank you for the chili. Queen Bee, thank you for the 440 jewels and the Uncle Art. And JC, thanks for the 2. Lynette has never told the same truth twice. That's right. It's hard to listen to somebody tell their truth when the truth doesn't match up with their truth the next day. Right. Now, they keep saying they're going to have Lynette on Saturday. And I'm curious about that. I also would love for them to ask Lynette about the letters that they sent to the police. She sent, and she herself is calling these people fraudsters. She's doing it. So kind of hard to say, oh, it's Tug and Megan and all these other folks' fault when, you know, you yourself are the one that is saying that about somebody. I love it. I absolutely do. I love seeing them just cannibalizing each other. That none of them are friends. I don't believe they are in the moment. They are beneficial to one another, but I don't ever believe that any of them have friends. All right. Is Jay live? I'm not sure. I'm going to jump off here, though. Apologize. I know Jay hadn't been feeling well, but it is People Watch Night, so I'm not sure if he's live or not. But anyway, I'm going to let you folks go. I will see you tomorrow. It will be fun. Be here.